All right. Good morning, all. I'm going to talk about two things for the price of one. And since you guys don't pay me anything for these videos, yeah, it all works out the same. Although if you do sit through ads, it's greatly appreciated. And I also want to throw in at the start of this, when you tell me it's a 5-minute ad, Shannon, and I had to skip it, of course you did. I watch ads for Wrestle Talk. I watch ads for Phil DeFranco if they pop up. I watch ads for channels that I watch regularly. And if they're 5-minute videos, I'm like, no. So, that aside, two topics. First off, this is a very high culture shirt now. This is a high culture logo. Yes, Versace sells them for $1,200. It's a shirt that's very similar. It's really kind of stunning that they get that kind of money for a shirt. The thing is, I haven't seen anywhere that actually tells me what they make on that. And really, honestly, if I could get my phone to stop bloody making noise, I turn the notifications off, and then 6 hours later, my phone turns them right back up. It's like, oh, you wanted notifications back up, didn't you? No, I turned it down. So there's the... Sorry for the dirty screen there, but... There's the Versace version right next to the one I'm wearing. See that? You think it's a coincidence? See, now here's my problem with the coincidence, if anybody has that theory, and I'm sure Versace will say it's a coincidence. First off, the text is the same. It goes in the same direction. Secondly, the shape of the skate is the same as the shape in that logo. And thirdly, there's a stripe. There's a circle right inside the circle, much like the red inside the yellow. There's a line inside the circle there, and then you see the E there, how it trails at the end. Well, look at the S. Look at the blade coming out. I just don't understand why. Like I know that a big part of fashion is plagiarism. Same as stand-up comedy. A lot of plagiarism there too. Got in trouble on my other channel for talking about that. Sorry, joke theft is joke theft. I don't care if you like them or not. It's even worse when the joke theft involves somebody who can't even deliver the joke properly. If you're going to steal somebody's joke, for God's sake, say it right. So if you're going to steal the Canucks logo like this, do it right. Who looked at this and said, you know what the problem is with this? It needs to be all gold with black. Just the red's the problem. Just make it just gold and black, and just take all stripes off of it and just put it on a shirt, and we'll get $1,200 for it. The story was broken on the Canucks subreddit, and it's exploded from there. I was on Global News yesterday. I've had all kinds of people messaging me about it, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to do a video on that. But for me, that doesn't deserve a video all by itself. So let's talk about the plate of spaghetti team that currently has an Orca, and people want the stick and rink back, or they want Johnny Canuck, or people want something completely different. Because Canuck fans, if nothing else, they can't agree on jerseys, logos, anything. It is part of the reason why fans of other cities kind of laugh at the Canucks. There's no other team that has the identity crisis the Canucks do. You don't see Maple Leafs fans saying, gee, we're the Maple Leafs, but could we somehow get like the CN Tower on our jersey? We should have the CN Tower. Let's stick a bear on it. Yeah, we know it doesn't have anything to do with Maple Leafs, but just throw a bear on it. Or Montreal. You don't see Montreal messing with their logo, or even the Jets. The Jets went kind of corporate, but it's still a jet, and it's an homage to the RCAF. I have no problem with that. So anyhow, the Canucks, the plate of spaghetti team. Right now, their issue is not the Versace; it is the Virtanen. So it's another V problem for Vancouver, also starting with V's. The 3 V's today. Versace, Vancouver, Virtanen. And at the start of the preseason, I said I really hope that Virtanen will get a start in the American Hockey League. And now fans are all excited because he's probably going to make the team. If he makes the team, Besser has to miss. Because the first line it should be Berchi, Horvat, and Besser. Second line should be Vanek, that they brought in to play with the Sedins. And your third line is Louis Eriksson, Sam Gagner, and Marcus Granlund. And either of them can be the center. And then your fourth line's probably Burmistrov, who hasn't done jack squat in the preseason yet. He even admitted in an interview he has done nothing to earn a spot on the team yet. Probably with Dorsett. I think Dorsett's going to play some games. When Gauntz comes back from injury, is he in there? Is Rodin in there? Upshaw's left. And Upshaw leaving, people said, oh, well, with Upshaw gone, then this gives a spot to Virtanen. Virtanen's on the fourth line. I agree, Virtanen's had some nice goals, but he played really well while the regular Canucks were in China. Now they're back. They're not giving up those spots. And this is when Canuck fans come in and say, oh, well, we should trade this guy and this guy and this guy, as if any of them have actual trade value right now. I still say, and it's hard for me to say this because I want to see him make the team. I still say Virtanen goes to Utica to play top 6 minutes there until a top 6 forward gets injured for the Canucks. And considering the Canucks' injury histories and the fact that the Sedins are no longer in their 20s, there's a good chance he'll be called up before Christmas. And there's a good chance he doesn't get sent back down. Virtanen is the guy right now that the Canucks thought they were drafting. Virtanen right now in the preseason looks like a guy who's ready to go into the regular season and score 20 goals. And there's an article from the province where they basically say he could be this year's Josh Anderson. Sure, but the concept that the Canucks are going to play their fourth line more than other teams is fine as long as you tell me who they're cutting the ice time away from. They're paying a lot of money. I even forgot Brandon Sutter. There you go. I forgot Brandon Sutter. So you got Sutter with Eriksson and Granlund at the third line, and then the fourth line's Gagne. Like, with Burmistrov, like, you've got a really stacked team for forwards. It's not stacked with great players. I don't want to give it the wrong impression. But you've got a lot of NHL veterans who would need to pass through waivers. And I don't know who Virtanen's outplayed. If anything, it's Virtanen's development over the summer would mean that the Canucks probably made a mistake bringing in Gagne. Gagne's the guy that I could see keeping Virtanen out of the NHL. But again, I want him to develop properly. I want him to see him take this confidence he has and play in the American League. Now, Virtanen makes a good point. He says if you're going to learn to play the game, you learn in the NHL because that's where your best players are. You're playing in the American League, you're playing against players that are not NHL caliber. Therefore, the mentorship you're going to receive is not going to be as good. The only problem with that theory is there's a lot of really good players who mentored in the AHL and did very well after. So, honestly, if I had a crystal ball right now, I would say that Virtanen's spot on the roster is tenuous. But if they decide to send Besser down and keep Virtanen, I'm going to have to really bite my tongue at the start of the year. Because I still think Besser has something special. And I think if he and Horvat have the kind of chemistry that I think they could, or if Besser somehow ended up with the Sedins and they had a renaissance with him, and we can get into who's going to play with who, and that's part of having a kind of crappy team is, yeah, it's really freeform in terms of who can play with who. Because you don't really have a premier scoring number one center. You don't really have that breakaway talent on the wing. And that breakaway talent could be Besser. So you don't want to mismanage him. I don't think it's Virtanen. I still think Virtanen's limit is probably as a 20-goal physical forward. And I think that's probably his ceiling. You guys can let me know what you think. I still think the odds of him making the team are probably less than 50%, unless the Canucks do something wild and they put somebody else on waivers. Burmistrov could go on waivers, absolutely. The Canucks didn't necessarily. I was kind of surprised when the Canucks signed him because I really didn't think they really needed him. I don't think White's gonna. If White hasn't been released already, I don't think he has been. I haven't heard anything yet this morning, but I don't think White's gonna make the team either. So we'll see. And of course, Upshaw's gone to St. Louis to sign a contract. Upshaw wasn't going to play in Vancouver anyways. St. Louis will bring him back because they know what they're getting. He knows he fits into that system. Everything's fine for him. We'll see how things shake down for the Canucks. Let me know what you guys think. where does Virtanen play if he makes the team is the question I ask you. Do you send Besser down? Do you cut ties with somebody else? Who hasn't impressed you during the preseason? And again, it's an interesting question because I'm still forecasting them to be a pretty bad regular season team in terms of win-loss record. I do think they're going to be closer when they lose than they were last year. I'm thinking along the lines of think of Toronto the year before they got Matthews, where they lost a lot, but they were in the games and they worked really hard, and you could see the team was going to get better. They just didn't have the talent. That's where I think the Canucks are going to be this year. I think they're going to be very hardworking, very solid four lines, but no real breakout talent on it. There's no breakout talent on this team yet, other than Besser. And I love Horvat. He's my favorite forward, but I don't foresee him scoring more than maybe 60 points in a season. I think that's probably going to be his ceiling, and I think he may hit 65, but that's an outlier. And that's not going to be his game. He's not the first-line center the Canucks need. So let me know what you guys think about this, about the Versace jersey thing. It's not a shirt, it's a jersey. So whatever. And it's not a jersey, it's a shirt too. I don't know who that's marketed towards, and who the hell's paying $1,200 for it. I paid I think I paid $100 for this through Jersey Baron. I think I got this through Jersey Baron. I know I got it brand new. No, I got this at the mall in Chilliwack for $100 because they had a sale. They had 20% off on jerseys at the time, and I got it for $100. It's a CCM. So I could have had 12 of these for the price of that crap Versace selling. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.